Yeah.
I missed the last one. I used to see all the time. I know. Are you saying I'm in the wrong place? Morning.
Morning. All right, good morning. I'll call this March 1st, 2017 Commission meeting to order. Welcome, everyone. Connie, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Robertson?
Here.
Commissioner Creech?
Here.
Commissioner Day?
Here. Would you all rise and join me for the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by prayer?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, we thank you for being here today. We ask that you look over us. We thank you for all the many blessings that you send down on us. We ask that you look over those that are less fortunate. We ask that after last night's speech that our president follows through and is able to do some of the good deeds that he's referred to. Give him the strength and give everyone else the strength to unite, become one. We ask that you look after our military men and women, help them to be safe. We ask that you look over the good people of Preble County here, help those that are less fortunate. Also, we ask that you give us the good guidance to do what is right for the residents of Preble County. In your name, amen.
Amen.
All right, on the agenda today we have public comments, approval of minutes, financial considerations, correspondence and reports, appointments, agreements and contracts, travel requests. We have meetings at 9:30, public hearing, zoning case 1416, Jack and Amy Ebersol. Zoning case 1417, Janet Langford. At 11 o'clock, we have Kara Engel, wellness update. At noon, we recess for lunch, and at 1 o'clock, we have a bid opening, landfill phases 2A and 2C. Connie, do you have any additional items at this time?
Not at this time.
This time, if there's anyone who wants to make any public comments, this is the time for that. I'm assuming you guys are here for the public hearings? Okay. Welcome to the meeting, and we'll take care of a little business and we'll get into that. Entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
Move to note receipt of and consider approval by signing the journalization and note receipt of the CD recordization, both as the official minutes for the February 27, 2017 regular session meeting.
Second.
Discussion. Connie, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Commissioner Robertson?
Yes.
Commissioner Day?
Yes. Financial considerations, entertain a motion to approve resolution 187, reference authorized payment. Sheriff, Corsa, $2,500. DTGI, $6,550. Diamond Drugs, $1,590.18. Miami Valley Crime Lab, $10,759.91. Prosecuting Attorney, Miami Regional Crime Lab, $10,759.90.
Move to approve resolution 187.
Second.
Discussion. Connie, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Robertson?
Yes.
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Commissioner Day?
Yes. Correspondence and reports. Entertain a motion to note receipt of a letter from the sheriff, reference resignation of Rachel Hartwig, new hire of Tana Brown, sheriff.
Move to note receipt of the entry from Preble County Police Court.
Or the letter from the sheriff.
Oh, move down. I'm sorry. Let me bump up. Entertain to note a receipt from the letter from the sheriff. I wonder why that was different what you said. Letter from the sheriff. I apologize.
Second.
Just- It's the third Monday of the week. All right. Corrections Officer Rachel Hartwig has,
Did you call the roll?
no, we got a motion and a
Got a
second.
motion and-
Oh, okay. Oh, you're reading it. All right. And see, now you've messed me
I
up.
told you, it's Monday.
Way to go, Preach.
Yeah, I don't do that online.
So sorry.
Here, let me do this.
Do we both he's marking us
Yep.
both wrong. All right.
There'll be no stars today.
No stars.
All right. From Sheriff Mike Simpson, Corrections Officer Rachel Hartwig has tendered her resignation as a full-time employee. Her last day will be February 28, 2017. Tana Brown has been hired to fill this position. Her first day will be March 2nd, 2017. Her rate of pay will be $14.84 per hour, which is the probationary rate per the current labor agreement. Further discussion? Connie, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Commissioner Robertson?
Yes.
Commissioner Day?
Yes. Appointments. Entertain a motion to note receipt of an entry from Preble County Common Pleas Court, reference appointment of William B. Sams to the Soldiers Relief Commission.
Move to note receipt of the court entry from Common Pleas Court.
Second.
The court was advised that William B. Sam desires to be reappointed to his position as commission. Basically, it's a 5-year appointment from January 13, 2017 to January 13, 2022, and this was a recommendation by Judge Abruzzo. Connie, would you call the roll?
Commissioner Robertson?
Yes.
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Commissioner Day?
Yes. Agreements and contracts. Entertain a motion to note received and executed amendment, reference amendment number 1 to the Healthier Buckeye Grant Agreement with Ohio Department of JFS. Change in terms, increased travel allowance, Healthier Buckeye.
Did you note receipt of the executed agreement?
Second.
Discussion. I believe this came about when this grant was first presented. There was very little known about it, and I don't think they allowed for the use of the money for travel, but it is an allowable use, so they're basically amending this because part of their major expense, or some of their major expense, is travel. Is that correct, Connie?
That's correct.
Okay. Further discussion? Connie, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Commissioner Robertson?
Yes.
Commissioner Day?
Yes. Travel request. Entertain a motion to note receipt, consider approval of the following travel request. Resolution 188. Cassie Profit Task has requested permission to attend the Development Relationships Workshop Training on March 16, 2017 in Hamilton, Ohio, at a cost not to exceed $42.20.
Move to approve Resolution 188.
Second that.
Discussion. Connie, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Robertson?
Yes.
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Commissioner Day?
Yes. Connie, do you have further items?
I have Resolution 189, which is authorizing the use of a county procurement card at one of our already approved sites, Walmart, for the Preble County building maintenance. That's Resolution 189.
Move to approve Resolution 189.
Second.
Discussion. That's basically, we're already got that taken care of, we just need one for that department.
That's correct.
Okay. Connie, would you call the roll?
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Commissioner Robertson?
Yes.
Commissioner Day?
Yes.
I have Resolution 190, which is another procurement card for the same location for EMA.
Move to approve Resolution 190.
Second.
Discussion. Connie, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Robertson?
Yes.
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Commissioner Day?
Yes.
Next, I have Resolution 191, which is authorizing the expenditure of $11,741 for the purchase and installation of 15 new insulated windows for the county office building. Quotes were sought to Champion Windows and Patron's Glass. Patron's Glass responded, Champion Windows do not quote government projects.
So it was $11,701 total.
$11,741.
Do you have a resolution or?
Resolution 191.
Resolution 191, I'll move to approve Resolution 191.
Second?
Discussion? Connie, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Creech,
Yes.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Day.
Yes.
And Resolution 192, which is authorizing the expenditure of $2,600 for a new operator for the handicap accessible door at the front of the courthouse. The existing one is about 22 years old. And, I'm starting to have service calls on it, and advised us that it's time to replace it.
Move to approve Resolution 192.
Second that.
Discussion?
I heard you. What was
Goodness.
the cost on that?
$2,600.
Which door is that, Connie?
It's
Front door.
Out front.
the handicap accessible door up
Okay.
front.
Yeah, I know, I was trying to help somebody in there, and it's getting wore out where it doesn't work right, so, okay. Connie, would you call the roll?
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Creech,
Yes.
Commissioner Day.
Yes.
And lastly, I have a letter to the payroll clerk for a new hire. Effective March the 6th, 2017, Julie M. Swisher has been hired to the full-time unclassified FLSA non-exempt position of receptionist clerk typist for the Board of Preble County Commissioners at the starting rate of $12 per hour.
Move to note receipt and approve by signing the letter to the payroll clerk.
Second that.
Discussion? She will start on Monday.
Monday.
That's great.
Glad to move in the right direction there.
Connie, would you call the roll?
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Creech,
Yes.
Commissioner Day.
Yes.
That's all I have at this point.
Rod, do you have anything?
I do not.
Denise?
No, not this time.
Connie, what's the status of, since we're talking about doors, the status of the basement doors? We were going to get key fobs and cameras.
I have, COP Systems came in yesterday, and they are providing us a quote to add on to our existing fob system.
Okay,
Yes.
all right. Because we discussed that, and
We discussed an entirely brand-new system, which, I haven't had any problems with the existing system, so I'm hopefully going this route.
And this is where only certain fobs would work with that door? or-
Well, we can program it that way, but if it's just a matter of adding, running a few wires to the doors,
Mhm.
our staff can do that, and our system isn't,
well,
not having any problems with the system.
Yeah.
I'd have to replace the entire system.
if the current system's working, we can add to it, and then if we need to upgrade the system, you're just upgrading that software, so.
Right.
You're getting quotes for that, I guess, is where you're at?
Correct.
Okay. We discussed that, and I just came to mind when you brought that up. I didn't know where we were at.
Right. Yes, they just happened to come in yesterday.
Excellent. Any additional items? Did you get the letters out for the Commissioners' Ball?
By the end of the week.
Okay. I just, whenever we get to the point where we need to start getting a list and notifying attendees, you need to let us know. Anything else?
Did you know that Heartland of Eaton is no longer Heartland of Eaton? It's Maple, I don't know if it's Maple Grove Nursing Home. Anyways, they called yesterday, and they wanted to know whether the commissioners could come over on a Wednesday evening and bring them up to date on what's going on in the county.
Like state of the county?
Huh.
Or when are we going to do state of the county?
We will be doing the state of the county in July.
I think last year we did it in like early.
We did March or April last year.
Yeah, we usually do it earlier. I don't know why it got pushed back.
Well, the chamber
Oh, that's right.
is the one that initiated that, and since they currently don't have a chamber director, the one that I was contacted the other day, and the reason I asked was from the Republican women.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, we can, I guess it's a matter of whenever we can put something together to update
It's our usual.
our presentation.
Yeah.
And I'll be more than happy to sit down and go through it. I got a copy I need to dig up. But
Is this something where, I mean, we're getting to the front of March, so July's not that far away, but should we hook up with like, I don't know, is Mole still the president, or did they change? I think Cynthia's the next one in line.
I believe he's had his last meeting up.
So Cynthia's, yeah, I mean, I just wonder if we should reach out to them, because I don't have a problem doing the state of the county in July, but that data's 7 months old.
Right. No,
I mean,
I think we should do that. Get it together.
you want me to reach out to,
We need to know when they can.
Well, we have the information to get it up to date.
that's what I'm saying, but if they, I mean, they probably need to put together the forum, I would think.
If they
The
want.
The chamber.
PowerPoint, oh,
No, the chamber would have to set a date for us to
If they want to do that, now with them not having a director, it may be a challenge.
do a little reach out and see.
I guess what we could do is with them not having a director, if we wanted to give a presentation in here and invite them in,
Yeah.
if that makes it a little easier for them at this point in time.
That's a good point.
Would we do it in the evening?
We do either way. I mean,
I just know that most people work, and so it's easier to.
It's always been in the morning, but in the evening it wouldn't be out of the question. We just
Wouldn't
have
hurt.
we just have Christian here.
yeah, I think that's the only thing.
That's the only thing.
I think I guess if we're trying to reach the chamber people, they did a breakfast so the business people could be here. I mean,
Right.
that.
Well, I wasn't talking about the chamber specifically. I just thought if we did one here,
Well, we could do two.
right? I think the more information we put out, the better.
Yeah, I don't have a problem. I'm just saying the reason the chamber did it that way
It's
was
the breakfast, right?
for the business people. So we can talk through that, but
We'll get it.
you got a lot on your plate right now, so.
We'll get it up to date.
And starting Monday, you got somebody new to train.
So whenever we can get that, and I'll get a copy and start looking at that too. So, and I would encourage both of you to take a look at it. Let's see what we need to update. Anything else?
I've reached out to Moles officially, so I'll let you know when I hear back. Maybe they can set something up in the next month or two. I don't know.
I'm drawing a blank. There was something I was going to ask about, and I'm drawing a blank. So
Recess for a few minutes.
yeah, we can recess till 9:30 when we have the public hearings. All right. Good morning. It's 9:30. We'll call this public hearing for zoning case, for our zoning cases this morning. I wasn't quite ready.
Do you have it? Here.
Thank you. Just a reminder that anyone wanting to speak for or against a case, please come to the podium, state your name for the record, because this will be transcribed and become official minutes for these proceedings. Everyone that's in attendance, please sign the sign-up sheet, so if there's anything needs to be sent out after the meeting, we can contact you. At this time, I would ask anybody that is going to testify to stand up. Please take the oath. Sarah? Do you guys think you're going to testify? If you don't have to, just go ahead and take the oath.
We'll stand up and do it.
They might ask you a question.
Do you solemnly swear affirm that any testimony you may give today is the truth and nothing but the truth to the best of your knowledge? If so, answer I do.
I do.
Okay, you've taken an oath or affirmation to tell only the truth in this proceeding. You are hereby advised that knowingly making a false statement under oath or affirmation in an official proceeding can constitute a violation of Ohio criminal law. If the statement is made with the purpose of misleading a public official in performing the official's function, such behavior could be subject to the maker of the statement to criminal prosecution for falsification, a misdemeanor of the first degree, punishable by a sentence of 6 months in jail or a fine of $1,000. Knowingly making false statements under oath or affirmation in an official proceeding when the statement is material may also subject the maker of the statement to criminal prosecution for the offense of perjury, a felony in the third degree, punishable by a sentence of up to 5 years in prison and a fine of $10,000. Now that I've given you the good news, as I said, this is being taped so that it can be transcribed. We will read the cases. We will ask for comments pro and con, and there'll be time for people to ask questions or make statements. All right.
See the overhead, all right?
Yeah, I mean, you can turn, if you want to turn this row of lights out, Brad, that would be great. First case we have is case 1416, Stephen A. Pope, agent for Jack R. and Amy Ebersol. Submitted application to have approximately 6.004 acres exclusive of the road right-of-way, if any, reclassified from agricultural to rural or restricted rural residential to special use provision. The area of land sought to be reclassified contains approximately 600 feet frontage along the west side of Preble County Line Road, approximately 2,909 feet north of Greenbush Road, Gratis Township, Section 13, Preble County, Ohio. The proposal is to add 4.279 acres to an existing 2.138 acre tract to create a 6.147 acre tract. No improvements proposed. Mr. Pope.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Stephen Pope, and I'm here today on behalf of Jack Ebersol and his wife Amy Ebersol, and also I'm here on behalf of Dan and Cheryl Johnson. And Mr. Chairman, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson are deceased, and Amy Ebersol is their daughter, and she is the executor of their estate. Mr. Chairman, there's been talk for years about Mr. and Mrs. Ebersol acquiring this tract of land from her parents. It's one of those things where they just never got around to it. They built a house, I think, back in 2002, and he just wanted to add some additional frontage, make his lot a little bigger. And the parents had agreed to give them this area here. Well, as time went on, they became ill. She passed away, and then just several months ago, Mr. Johnson passed away. So their plans now is to sell this parcel with the house and the barns. This tract is 45 acres. Has a driveway that comes out to County Line Road, the house and barns. You can see it's heavily wooded and it's got a lot of contour to it. This area here, Mr. Ebersol would like to, he's been cleaning this up, reclaiming some of this land. He'd like to punch his west property line north about 400 feet and then back out to the County Line Road. that little 4+ acre tract, he'd like to have it incorporated into their existing 2-acre parcel, thus creating a 6.417 approximately acre tract around their existing house. It would just improve their property, get that property line a little bit further north. The remaining tract that the Johnsons have, that would still be over 40 net acres, and it would retain its agricultural zoning classification. The new parcel, the 6-acre tract, would be reclassified to special use provision, which, as you know, is a subtitle of the agricultural definition. Other than that, Mr. Chairman, those are the basic facts. No improvements are proposed on that. This line will be eliminated when we add this to it. And like I said, no changes to the remaining parent tract. So those are the basic facts as I understand them. If you're the board, if you have any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer them.
So for clarification, Mr. Pope, the property line would be removed and this would become one parcel?
That is correct.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I like when that happens.
Yes, I do too.
It just takes away a little of the blurredness eventually.
Yes.
Rod?
I have no questions.
Denise?
No.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, Mr. Pope. Does anyone have any comments? Brad, do you have any comments?
No, pretty well. That's the right application.
On January 19th, the Planning Commission approved it 7-0, and on February the 7th, the Zoning Commission approved it 5-0. Any further discussion? With no further discussion being heard, I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we approve case 1416 based on zoning code 1103.01B, objective 201.01 through .05.
I'll second that.
Got a first and a second. Any further discussion? Sarah, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Robertson?
Yes.
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Commissioner Day?
Yes. Motion passes. Mr. Pope, you know the 30-day referendum, and I'm sure you've relayed that to your client.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Pope. Our second case, case number 1417, Stephen A. Pope, agent for Janet L. Langford, submitted application at approximately 5.923 and 1.209 acres exclusive of the road right-of-way, if any, reclassified from restricted rural residential to special use provision and rural residential. The area of land sought to be reclassified contains approximately 308.44 feet frontage located along the west side of State Route 503, approximately 847 feet north of Black Road, Lanier Township, Section 3, Preble County, Ohio. The proposal is to rearrange property lines around the existing buildings and reestablish new lot sizes per the future buyer's request. No improvements are proposed on the larger 5.923 acre parcel. Its current land use will remain the same. Mr. Pope.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My name is Stephen Pope, and I'm here today on behalf of the property owner, Janet Langford. Mr. Chairman, Ms. Langford is the daughter of Stanley Brower, the late Stanley Brower. He has owned this property for generations, as well as his family, so it's been in the Brower family for many, many years. Ms. Langford, the house in which Mr. Brower lived in is the old two-story brick located in this location here. It sits currently on this kind of odd-shaped parcel right here of 6.5 acres. Why Mr. Brower did that, I'm not real sure, but the deed describes it as 6.5 acres. And then there's a little empty lot right here that's currently self-described. It's 0.757 acres. There's no improvements on it. And there's another little empty lot here. It's all grass. It looks like it goes with the house, but it's a separately described parcel. And it's 0.701 acres. There's no improvements on that. It sits adjacent to the cemetery here, south of town. What Ms. Langford would like to do is that she has entered into a contract with Mr. and Mrs. Gilbert, and Mr. Chairman and Mr. and Mrs. Gilbert are here today. They would like to buy that home, and they would like to fix it up. It's a beautiful home, I'm sure everybody's aware of it. A 19th century home, they'd like to improve it, rehab it, and what we'd like to do is from this property corner here, extend that property line north, include 2/3 of this lot with this house. I think the sanitary septic area is sort of sets out in this area here, so that's why they want this area. They need it for their septic area. And they would like to create a new 1.336 acre parcel. The remaining area back here would be reincorporated into the remaining part of the 6.5 acre tract, and that would become 5.923 acres. The existing barn that's on that tract will stay with the 6 acre tract. And we have provided an easement across this lot out to State Route 503. I did meet with a representative from ODOT, or Permit Division, and we do have preliminary approval for the location of that proposed driveway, if it were ever necessary, to service this 6.5, or, excuse me, this 5.9 remaining tract here in the back. Like I said before, this little sliver will go with this tract. So in a sense, what we're really doing is just rearranging property lines. No improvements are proposed on this tract. This parcel here is not germane to this application. It's not affected, it's just there. The only thing we're doing is we're proposing an easement across it. If she sells this to a third party, and they need access to it, they could put a driveway in to get access to this barn. I will tell you, Mr. Chairman, I've met with several different interested parties in that 5.9 acre tract who are adjacent to that. So they may not be needing that driveway. Other than that, there's no improvements proposed on it. Those are the basic facts as I understand it to be. She owns all this land from here, this property line, all the way over to Wolf Road. She also has this 30-acre parcel here to the north. No improvements are proposed on anything at this point in time, but I can convey to you that it all is going to be up for sale soon. Miss Langford lives up near Cleveland. I don't think she has any reason, any desire to keep it. She inherited it, or she bought it at auction actually, and she's just trying to decide what to do with it at this point in time. Right now, the application is focused on rearranging the lines around this house and the 6 acre parcel. So with that, Mr. Chairman, if you as the board would have any questions, I'd be happy to try to answer those.
And basically, you stated that all existing lot lines would be removed and they would all become one property.
That's correct. We don't want to create any non-conforming tracts.
Yeah. It's just 10 years down the road blurs things, and I have no further question. Mr. Creech?
No, I'm familiar with the case. I don't have any questions.
One more thing I might add, Mr. Chairman, if I might, for the sake of the audience. There could be a house put on this parcel here if it met all the terms and conditions of the health department. There could be a house put on this parcel if it met all the terms and conditions of the health department, as well as all the other bare or unimproved parcels that she owns. We're not proposing anything. There's been a lot of talk that we were. Nothing is being proposed. That's just a rumor. So it's just that I just want everybody to know that you could put a house here if someone wanted to, and you could put one here. This house is served by public water out of West Alexandria.
But, for the record, there could have been houses built on all those properties. All you're doing is cleaning up lot lines at this point.
That's correct.
I mean, realistically,
Yes.
the lots are existing, so they're buildable lots. So,
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Pope.
Thank you.
Mr. Cunningham?
My name is Bruce Cunningham. I'm representing their township. I did have one question for Mr. Pope. Along the north border of the cemetery, we have a 25-foot easement for our water line. How does that affect your 50-foot right-of-way?
It's a subsurface water line, obviously, so it won't affect it at all.
Why didn't you-
Your easement would still take precedent over that. The exact location of that driveway, when I talked to ODOT, we could really put it anywhere across that lot. He didn't care where it would be located, so your easement would still stay in place. If we put it along that line, it would just right over top of it, but you'd still have the right
I just
easement.
wanted
Yeah.
to make mention of it, I didn't want to find out later.
Oh, yeah. No, it'll never go away.
Okay.
The easement's attached to the deed, so it is a deed of record. And it's there until someone would dissolve that for whatever reason. Both parties would have to agree to that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have one question.
Sure.
We are the folks that are buying that, the pointer. The question I have is this line here, is this .7 acre lot going to remain a .7 acre lot? Or is that line being dissolved? No, it'll stay the way it is. Nothing is going to change with that.
Because I have interest in that lot, just not for building, but just looking nice. I want to live next to a straw field.
Are you planning on living there yourself?
Yes. Oh, yeah, that's,
Have you seen the drawing and the map?
what, the news?
Yes.
Yeah, I was at, where they were going to put the line. It was basically coming off of this line here.
Right.
Going straight up to there and over
Right.
and back.
This isn't working too well.
It's not the pen, it's the hand. From here.
Right.
And over and
Right.
down and around and over down to Cunningham here. And,
That's gonna be hard to mow. That's gonna be hard to mow. All those zigzags.
Yeah, I know. What a nice mower.
You ever think you have a steady hand and just use that?
Oh, I know, I
You
know.
realize you do not have a steady hand.
I know I don't have a steady hand.
That was it. Thank you.
Well, like I said, for the record, basically all that is being done here is straightening out some property lines to make them symmetrical, I guess, so that we don't have these little pieces. And as Mr. Cunningham stated for the record, there is an easement for the water line, which runs to the cemetery. Are there any other questions or comments?
He's here for that case. I don't know if he has any.
He hasn't been sworn in.
Yeah. Any other questions or comments?
Hardly may not know that we're on that.
Basically, we're on case
1417.
1417, the Janet L. Langford case. We're discussing that at this point. Basically, it is to clean up a couple tracks, basically cleaning up some property lines of some existing lots. That's kind of the basis of it.
Clean up the lots, just...
Yeah. Sir, if you would you come up here, state your name, and be sworn in?
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that any testimony you may give today is the truth and nothing but the truth to the best of your knowledge? If so, you sure I do.
Would you stay at the podium, sir? State your name for the record. Right at the podium, right behind you. There you go.
Harley Weiss,
Okay.
604, State Route 503, Dallas. I just more or less want to know what's going on with the land, is what I was wanting to know. They ain't gonna build houses or anything around through there, they ain't.
Basically, what Mr. Pope, would you like to give a brief synopsis so that I think we owe that to the neighbor?
Really, nothing is proposed on the track where the barn sits on now. She does not have a buyer for this currently. There is some interest in it, but there's no homes proposed on it. There is no homes proposed on this parcel. However, a new home could be put here, a new home could be put here. But what we're doing is that we're going to take a property line from this corner and go up, over, and include that existing house in a new parcel. So really, all we're basically doing, everything's the same, we're just rearranging these two property lines, we're eliminating these, and just creating one new one, is all we're doing, and putting this house on its own parcel. And then this little area will go back to the 6.5 acres back here, so nothing is really changing, only rearranging the property lines. If anything happens in the future, if anybody proposes a subdivision or a different change of use, it will have to come back through this form for approval.
Okay, they can't build houses back into there unless it comes all through this first.
If it's multiple houses, they can't.
One.
But each separate tract, if it's a separately described parcel, just like your lot, if your lot didn't have a house on it, you could put a house on it if it meets setback requirements, health department requirements. So she has multiple tracts now. Theoretically, you can put a house on every one of them, but I don't think she would ever do that. I think she's just going to sell the land if she gets a buyer. Just like that 30-acre tract, Brad, would you indulge me please and just kind of pan out a little bit, that 30-acre tract to the north? Yeah, this 30-acre tract.
Sorry, Steve.
Okay.
I was doing the right thing here.
Is it, we're gonna try to build a house, or somebody gonna build a house back in that woods there by the ball field?
No, this is a separately described parcel. It is for sale. I think I'm allowed to say that. There's no improvements on it now, and someone could buy it and put a house on it, or anything that they would want. If it's not a house, it would have to go back through this form to have the change of use approved. But right now, you can put a house on it or leave it the way it is.
Well, I was just concerned about the field and stuff, all that houses and stuff, about putting housing, there's a bunch of housing and low-income apartments and all that crap back here and there in that field, and that just have to go.
Well, there's never been any discussion on anything like that. So.
That's what my concern was. You do that, it's gonna run down our property, you know? That's fine, that's
Okay,
what I wanna know.
thank you. And for the record, I guess, basically I'll restate, we're cleaning up property lines, and by what you're doing, you have eliminated the possibility of one house being built on that lot. So technically along State Route 503, there could have been a house built there the way it was, and you're eliminating that by combining those two lots.
Yeah.
So,
I always point this out during zoning cases because I've learned a lot about zoning over the last few years, and I think it's funny that, and I don't think it's funny, I find it's every case is the same. Nobody ever wants neighbors. Nobody ever wants people to build houses, but if that old farmhouse didn't want a neighbor, you wouldn't have a place to live at. So places constantly change, people constantly build houses. But if you know what I'm saying, if that old farmhouse would have said, I don't want houses across from me, you wouldn't be living where you are. So, you always have houses coming in, we welcome them. Those, in Preble County, that's where we want houses to be built, is in the villages and in the city.
We're just talking about a house and build it. There's no low income this,
Sure.
low income that. That's what
Well, I don't think that's being proposed, but I just wanted to at least put it on the record that we do, if a home's going to be built, we would just soon have, utilities and, be in this, close to the village. So it's actually a good place to build houses. I don't know if anybody ever will, but if somebody's going to build a bunch of houses in the county, I'd just sooner be there than out in the middle of the country.
Right.
One quick question on
would
the property.
you please come back
Go to the
up?
podium.
Sorry. The property that we're taking, where the septic is, there could probably never be a house built in there anyway. They would have found out that the septic was there and the end of that.
Right.
Right.
It kind of goes with the house, is what you're saying. It goes with your property.
No, you
that
can't
you
do
want.
that because
Right.
you got it.
Okay. Any further questions or comments? Brad, do you have anything to add?
No, I think everything's been pretty well presented.
Okay. Rod, do you have any additional comments?
I do not.
Denise?
No.
On January 19th, 2017, the Planning Commission approved this 7-0, and on February 7th, the Zoning Commission approved it 5-0. At this time, I would entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I move we approve application 1417 under section 801 and 1103 A through H.
Second.
Further discussion? Sarah, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Commissioner Robertson?
Yes.
Commissioner Day?
Yes. And Brad, you want to explain the 30-day referendum period?
Well, and Mr. Hope is very familiar with this, but after this change is to take effect in 30 days, and that provides for residents of the township to, I guess, challenge the meeting and place on a referendum to a popular vote. So this will take effect. If there's no challenge, then it will take effect in 30 days.
Okay. That takes care of case 1417. Just would like to state, for the record, we had another case 1418 that had gone through planning and zoning, but it has been pulled by the petitioner and is no longer a valid case, correct, Brad?
That's right.
Okay. So with that being said, we have no additional business. I would consider this hearing over. Thank everyone for coming and appreciate everyone's attendance. Thank you,
Oh,
Denise.
you're welcome.
I was fumbling around and...
How was your schedule now? Is this a good time to make things available?
Yeah.
Probably be a recess.
Packets, I think,
We got one more letter I need to sign, everybody. We'll get it.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
No problem.
It's been a while. You all right?
We live in an old farmhouse too.
The house, you know, I wouldn't see it.
Yep.
You know what? I'm gonna give you one of Chris's cards. I'll put the cell number on the back.
Right now, it's too wet.
But call me and I'll get with Brad Collins. And yeah, all they gotta do is take that little fence down and you can get up there. They won't have a problem with that.
Oh, good.
I'm sure they won't.
Yeah, there's a couple of us that might do that.
Sure.
I'm retired now.
First man?
First man.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah. Yeah, let's see. I've been Steve all life. Steve Bale. I ain't Bale's home.
Yeah, I remember that.
Okay. That's what I remember. I remember you came from down here.
Oh, wow.
You got a good name. This guy right here. Call me. We'll get together. All right, buddy.
Everybody's bringing it
Can't take with it, no pockets, and, so I just stand there. My son will have a house. Once we're gone, call back again. Yeah.
That house, I'll tell you, you're going to get a TLC.
Oh, yeah, it was like Joe for, I think it was like 2.5 years. No, it's going to get new windows. It needs windows.
I thought they put replacement windows on about 4 years ago.
No, those windows are older, dirt. Some of them might be original, when they lasted so much.
You're gonna have to redo all the drywall and plasterboard.
I noticed that the walls are in good, pretty good shape. There's a couple of spots in the ceiling where they can improve.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I don't say that's my sister bought a house.
I need you guys to come in. I'm gonna ask you, 'cause I saw you last
Yeah,
night.
yeah.
I see you looking this morning. Hey, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they keep me busy.
Yeah.
I mean, I was gonna ask you. Yeah. Congratulations on West Ellis.
Yeah.
I just live north of West Ellis here about a month.
Oh, okay.
Main Street Road.
Okay. Yeah, I know where that is.
I'll be down there. Who's that?
Yes. And I know who you.
Oh, yeah, which one?
David and Mark.
Yeah.
Harris.
Yeah. Heck,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, I've got one.
No, there's normally another box with this, Chris, that maybe
So
send
you're
you
around
around.
West Ellis currently, or
That's
you
it.
Are you like Miss Gilbert team?
Yeah.
She got out of her school.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So did,
Yeah. That's funny. How do you know when I heard that? Yeah.
Behind you,
I graduated in
in
'67.
town, you see his town.
Yeah.
With my brother Bob.
Yeah, Bob and I used to.
I didn't realize your mom was Miss
We were
Gilbert.
running cross country. Out there.
And he did.
Running across.
Yeah, if you
country out there.
go to the stop sign, turn right, head south, Harris Road right over the corner of the next house. Got the pool right there.
And we didn't want to come the other way than the park yard.
I promise you, we go back there.
Small world.
This lives in town.
Yeah.
Across the ball fields.
Oh, yeah?
Who's this?
My brother Bob.
Okay, yeah. Is he still living in your mom's place?
Yeah.
301 Michael.
Well,
We meet every,
and I think there's no way to understand your concerns.
meet.
I don't think Danny is close to property.
Yeah, he just, yeah, he was in our class.
I'm just.
That's all.
You didn't eat last night,
It
what?
really didn't change anything.
Didn't last night.
Somebody needs to do what you're referring to.
Yeah, he was in our class.
Perfect, guys.
You're all right.
Is your mom? Is your mom with me? Oh, I saw her truck here. She's still there. She never got out.
94. I've been there.
It's been 9 years. I feel like it's not sure not long ago.
I got away from that middle town, I didn't like around here and running it
Wow.
out. Right.
Yeah, I used to talk to her all the time at her house. Now, does she go from her house to Van Preston?
Yeah,
Okay.
C-shape.
She's
Yeah,
She has been
I
herself.
mean, I thought her name, I had to talk with her or something, and she goes, you know, I don't think I can stay by myself anymore, I think I'm going to go check in.
So she did herself, she probably did.
We've already had it out.
She's still living then, or?
It's just not really, it's not home.
No,
And
no.
she doesn't want to decorate and make a home, she's torturing herself. I want to go back home. Now they hardly can't get in there and all the shower and things. When she was sat around the house that had nothing to do with worry, you know, nothing to occupy her time, clean the house, which never got dirty. But she said, I'm worried about you, blood pressure, she don't look too better. At least once a month they call her a hospital. Since she's been there for 9 years, not one time they keep her occupied, and she doesn't have time to sit around and worry.
This.
Decorate and make, well, it's because she hasn't got it. That's why she's not good at it.
She was one day when I was your lawn, I'd have to go to her house and be about 20, 30 minutes. She loved talking to me, which is good. I love it.
And she ended up passing away. She's very young to be a great decorator. She's only 61 when she passed away. And, so I didn't play my role tonight. So he now, if he wandered off into some of the room sometimes, I have to go. And it's really
Some chocolate's white, I mean, it's all.
Oh, yeah, that's correct.
I was laying here, she was supposed to be here. Sixth grade. I graduated in '95, so it'd been probably maybe
Nobody got her. I think she got her in '99, and she's just trying to put it assisted living. She's done.
Oh, this is different. This was, she taught sixth grade. Laying here. Okay, I bet it's a different Mrs. Gilbert, she taught us, who's the Mrs. Gilbert sixth grade teacher ever at Lanier? Audrey?
She taught third grade when I was there about 60.
What her name was?
Well, it was, she would go to Lanier after.
The one that had the doctor there in town?
Oh, no, this is before this.
But
What was her name?
Audrey?
she, my mom taught down
Audrey Gilbert was.
she taught at.
That's what
kind
kind
of
of
that
that
school is now, she was there, and then when they consolidated, she went out.
This is before 64, when it, she's on 64. Carol, because Larry almost was in that class. Carol, 65 was the first year.
Right.
She was over
Is that where you bought?
Yeah, I
Okay, that's what I was saying.
I'd have to look, I don't even know if it was her first time. I mean, it was.
I've got. Yeah, he was 90, if you ever want to see him, he's 6 years old. I don't know if Carol does anything.
Different Mrs. Gilbert, you ever heard of those? At last, her daughter was a doctor there in West LA.
I don't think you
Sorry about
guys.
that. I didn't want to, sorry.
I
I was going to say, good, I didn't want to. Oh, maybe it's your mom. Yeah, I deserved it.
You probably deserved it anyway,
I was going to say, your mom looked me.
I don't think it was possible that he taught him.
Yeah, I graduated with I would have had.
I'm not in residence on his,
Nice.
Back then.
Yeah.
Things changed.
Yeah, that's right. Thanks for coming in.
All right.
Good seeing y'all.
See you, Bruce.
Can't wait to see you fixed up. I mean, in town? Yeah, okay. Is that on the, hair place? Yeah, Tina's,
When I first moved in there, the post office was back there, and Dr. Goodhue was back.
That's neat.
I wanted to go in that, obviously moved down there, and no longer back there. Say something,
Still wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
Been on site then?
I when I graduated, in college, and
You're
then.
checking out your second month. Nothing. It's like, then see, it doesn't help. When it's doing night. I don't know why it's not. It's always been when people make sure I don't want to. That was pretty fun.
And we just, we
Paperwork.
Get out of town.
And I was raised in farmers.
Because that's probably where it's at.
Yeah, that's right.
That's the place where
Thanks for coming.
And I was at the luncheon here, oh, okay.
But the other one's kind of good.
Good.
The track house.
Look at that house. A lot of big food. The next one's Monday, yeah. It was interesting.
Well, they do it.
Yeah,
And
I
I
did.
really think that,
It,
What is it? It's today. Oh, yeah. Thanks.
So, very good turnout.
Oh, good.
All kids.
I imagine it was all the engineers. There might have been a few other people there.
You start getting them 6 inch, 4 to 6 inch grass.
Were they die? Maybe they're racing. They could be having their own personal race. A weight loss.
Oh, okay.
They're doing that there. Yeah, the engineers. Yeah. So maybe that was too long. Yeah, I don't know when they want to go. I remember it was Friday. I think it's Friday.
It may have been the other night. It was a little
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. I'm sure we'll see you around. Yeah, we'll be talking. Yeah, you'll see me out that direction when I say, all right, bye-bye. All right.
Ms. Crowell,
All right.
any additional items?
I wanted to share with you the quote from PCI for the dog warden's roof.
Holy.
That, I believe he quoted it, after Chris and I went out there and talked with him, he quoted it 3 different ways. If you remember, originally we had received what? A quote from another vendor that just was a quote for the roof over the office of the dog warden. And I think that's here too as well. The first one is that. Okay.
Is that what the,
Option 1, well, yes, the first one is just the roof over the office building. The second one is where the kennel is. Okay, and you can see what the combined package is. Then he also has the third one is to clean up that back kennel area.
so basically the first one for $18,905 would be to put new metal roof over the existing wood trusses, new fascia, gutter and downspouts, and cover the gable ends in metal. So there's a little more to that one. Basically, it's getting all of the block building pretty much maintenance-free and gutters and downspouts that are functional.
Right.
Because what's on there are pretty beat up. The next one is the back part where the dogs are actually at. The first one up there is where Lee's office is at, okay? The next one is where the dogs are at. This would be to put a new metal roof over the existing metal roof with new fascia downspouts. And then the bottom one down there would be over the dog area, would be to go up and repair any loose screws, any loose metal, re-screw that down, retape all seams, and then put a elastomeric acrylic membrane, basically the rubberized membrane over it, and then go back over with another layer of membrane that they can tint, I guess now. So it would be green, which is the 12,150.
Do we know what kind of shape the roof is over the kennel?
It didn't appear to be in that bad a shape.
Not that bad.
So it's feasible that we could just do repairs and do a covering for that part of the building.
I think from what we saw, I think that is an option. There's just a few spots where the screws are loose. He showed a couple spots where it may be leaking from the ceiling, or at least he says there's a few spots, but that could be the screws leaking.
Or once it's sealed.
Right. One of the reasons we had it quoted this way is, if you'll remember, at some point in time they sprayed the foam insulation on the entire roof in there, and if you get into trying to tear anything off, it's going to be a real mess. So I think what we need to do is cover up what's there and not disturb that.
I'm fine. If it's not needing replaced, I think repairing it and resealing it sounds like the way to go.
And if you remember, Kelly and Carpenter also provided us with a quote.
Did any of the local vendors, did we have any local vendors put any bids in?
No. So that's theirs.
Is it apples to apples, comparing the
Well, that's why
same?
I'm showing that,
Okay.
because, the word, what is it? Elastomeric acrylic membrane
Yeah.
versus metal.
Just from speaking out loud, that is a lot of money to fix a roof, but I guess
This is the bid that Kelly and Carpenter put in, would be to remove shingles.
Because I think they were told to,
Right.
yeah.
So we're really not comparing.
So it's not apples to apples.
No, I probably need to go back to them and,
how's the price compare with removing the shingles?
This one we got still cheaper.
So it should be a lot less.
30.
Make that, yeah.
Maybe give them,
This right here, it seems kind of excessive to me.
maybe give them the way this one's set up. Say can you give us what it would cost just for the block building, and then what would it cost to repair the dog kennel portion or replace the dog kennel portion? Kind of have them set it up the way we have this other one set up, so we can compare the prices.
What's the price savings with that, with ripping the shingles off?
Actually, it's $36,562. It says here's. We propose to remove the existing shingles and replace with new corrugated metal roof panel over ice and water shield, new fascia, cover and gutters and downspouts. Over the kennel area, we will remove the existing panel and install new over any insulation. The section will also receive new gutters and downspout to match.
So that's the price with putting new on all of it.
Right.
Even taking off the shingles.
Yeah, I don't think we want to get into taking anything off there.
You're increasing costs too.
so I don't know, I would probably go back and it would probably be less, so they didn't have to have that labor to take off those shingles, right?
Right.
I would hope if we give them the same type of direction on these three options, see what they come back with.
I did not realize that building was that long.
I didn't either. I looked at that picture and went, that is a really long building in the back.
I didn't realize that.
I've never paid that much attention to it.
Well, I didn't either until we went up there and got to looking at it.
I mean, I've been by it a million times and
Right.
there's how big it was.
And there's other things that need to be done. There's doors that need to be replaced in certain areas of that are outside that go inside that have just been left.
And we haven't,
No maintenance
We
on
could
it.
save some good money and buy some doors.
and we never did replace the fencing inside, did we?
No, and he.
Because we've talked about that.
Well, he's still working on that.
He's working on quotes.
And you know, there used to be a fence outside that has been taken down the last couple of years, and I noticed dents on the siding. He says that when they have the pork festival over there, the campers back up into his building.
Oh, that's not good.
I know.
That's something you maybe should report right away when it happens.
Yeah?
Maybe take pictures before and after. Here's what my building looked like before the fair.
Well, if that's happening, it needs to address it at fair time.
Right, at the time.
Right.
He could probably get hold of Deputy Sheriff.
I think he could.
Okay, so Connie, do we want to get with Kelly Carpenter? If you need help with that wording or whatever, I can help with.
Okay.
Do you have anything else, Connie?
Another thing I have is the letter of arrangement with the state examiners. And this year, we're looking at, for the audit, $57,000.
Oh, my gosh.
That's about what we pay.
Wow.
That's about what we pay every year.
Annual financial audit and preparation of federal schedule for the letter of arrangement. So we need to receive and approve by signing the letter of arrangement.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Ouch.
Well, hopefully they don't come back midstream and say it takes more.
Yeah, hopefully.
So, okay. Connie, would you call the roll?
Commissioner Creech,
Yes.
Commissioner Robertson,
Yes.
Commissioner Day.
Yes.
And I made your first lunch and learn, well, Denise went to the breakfast at the engineer's office. We had one at JFS on Monday, we had one here in the commission chambers on the 14th of March, and then the last one would be at the health department. It's one out of the two requirements that you have to meet in order to get your incentive.
And it was a good crowd at the engineer's office this morning. Full, packed room. Dr. House and Summit Chiropractic did a really good job.
I also have scheduled on May the 1st. This is to help us out with our insurance rates, which is a requirement of CORSA through the loss control coordinator efforts. May 1st at 1:30, we have a 2.5-hour training session with Ben Albrecht, Official Haas, Kim Albrecht, and Downing. They will be talking about 3 case studies involving common human resource challenges that often result in administrative claims or litigation. And then the second 1 hour and 15-minute session will be discussing social media in the workplace. That's scheduled for here, May 1st, for Monday at 1:30. So I'll be sending that out next week to start getting
And how long did you say that was going to be?
2.5 hours. And if a majority of the elected officials and department heads attend, the county will receive credit toward their loss control efforts, plus, which goes against our liability insurance.
So I'm sure you'll be emphasizing that.
Yes, it's all in this letter here that I've prepared. Yes.
Okay, what else you got, Connie?
That's all I have. We do have change of arrangements this afternoon. We are going to tour the new landfill facility today because our 1 o'clock or our 2 o'clock has rescheduled for us to make our inspection of their house that's north of the landfill on March the 20th. She's got a lot of things going on right now, so we'll go ahead and allow that, and we will make the inspection on the 20th. I did let her know that we might still go up and make an inspection of the outer part of the premises, depending on the weather, but we will not be going inside today.
So she's changed that to the 20th?
She's asked that it be changed to the 20th.
Okay, or, right.
We did talk about her...
And this is the one on 127?
Yes.
Okay.
We did talk about her background that's due, and she is going to make every effort to bring that up into good standings by mid-March, no later than the end of March. Associated with other issues and what's going on. Anyways.
She's been a good runner.
She has been a good runner. She's rented from us for 10 years. And if you check back on any other background that's been due, it's never. It's just
So this is just some circumstances.
Yes, bad end of last year and bad first part of this year. So.
Okay.
And then we'll make our way over to our second rental on Camden Road.
Okay.
Today.
What time are they expecting us?
They are expecting us between 3 and 3:15.
Okay.
Can we bump that up so we're not up there for 3 hours, or?
Well, we have an opening, bid opening at 1.
Oh, up there?
No, here.
Here. Oh, okay. Okay,
Opening up here at 1.
Never mind. I thought we were going there at 1.
No.
I was going to say 1 to 3.
We're going to be here at 1.
Oh, gotcha.
I feel that you're going to be opening a lot of bids.
Okay.
Right.
Then by the time we get down there, it'll be around 2, and then we'll go through the building.
Right.
And then we can go from there. We can go over to the 127 rental property,
I got
or we
you.
don't
I
have
got
to.
you.
It's whatever.
Mhm.
And then we need to be at Bruce's around 3.
Okay.
Okay, you have anything else? Rod, you have anything?
I know.
Denise?
No.
I was thinking of something a minute ago and I didn't write it down, so it's gone.
Did we decide what Wednesday in March would work for everyone to go over and talk to what used to be Heartland of Eaton? And I don't think they're looking, they're just wanting to know what's going on in the community.
They just want us to show up.
Yeah, I don't think it's the PowerPoint presentation
We don't-
you want
yeah,
to take.
we
That's-
don't-
They want, that's way,
They just want a general overview.
yeah.
Is this like the residents and
Yeah.
everybody that works there?
The
And
residents, I guess,
Huh.
they asked what, and one of the requests was they'd like their county commissioners to come and visit with them. And
I'd say we better get a bag of candy.
Oh, yeah. Actually, you know what? We should take bags because I bet they have the candy. They have the candy.
I was expecting, an afternoon or something, and then she made the request of an evening, and I said, that can work also. So I don't know which Wednesday's good for you in the evening.
Let me see which.
I cannot do the 15th.
And I cannot do the 22nd. or the 15th. So, the 8th or the 29th? What's your calendar look like, Rodney?
I'm usually,
What?
you're talking Wednesday?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
My Wednesdays are usually almost always awesome. I never have meetings on Wednesday nights.
Okay, so
Do
we'll
the
look
8th?
at The 8th?
Wednesdays are crazy good.
Do the 8th and get it out of the way sooner
I'm
than
good.
later.
Yeah, I'm good with the 8th.
We're talking next week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're usually done eating by 4:30. So.
Well, when they're evening, I mean, it's not
It's not evening
Hey,
evening,
give me
so
some-
maybe 6?
No, they start at 4, I said that wrong. They start at 4:30 to eat dinner, and they're done by 5:30. So she said we could come as early as 6 o'clock.
I'll put down 6.
Okay,
That sounds great.
yeah.
Okay?
Or do we want to maybe go like at 5:30?
With them?
5:30, since they're already there, they don't have to assemble. We could just, it
I'll
could
eat
be
before I-
dinner and entertainment.
I'm eating before I go. I got dinner plans that night. I just made them.
What's it called?
I'm going to make. I got plans. I'm going to make.
Maple
What did
something.
you say? Yeah, I'll find out when I call her back.
What's the new name
I
of
think
it?
it's might be Maple Grove Nursing Home, but I'll make sure I find out.
I don't think I knew. Not that it's a big deal, but how long ago did that happen? I don't think I knew about that. Did this happen?
I had to.
So do we want to stay, just since they're already assembled there, in their lunchroom or their dining area?
Yeah.
Let Connie call and find out. I mean,
I got it down for 5:30, and then
yeah, I got 5:30, but
I
if they
think-
need to move
yeah.
that, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's been so long since I've been in there, can't remember how that's situated.
Well, you just walk through the doors and then kind of go to your right and then down the hallway, and there it is. You'll have to the left, or you'll have a place to gather that has I think they had birds in a cage. Remember birds in a cage?
You know, my grandmother was in there, but that's
That
been
was
several
mine.
years ago, and I'm drawing a blank.
So Heartland, it used to be Heartland, that's on the one on Maple Street,
Right.
right? Yeah,
Behind Bruce School.
right.
Marvelous.
Okay, I'll make plans and I'll let you know.
Okay, anything else? Connie?
No, I have nothing.
I don't have anything.
so we'll be back here at 1.
Adjourn until 1 o'clock? when
We have 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that.
He stays saying 1 o'clock, and I'm looking
I
at
saw
1.
that earlier.
We have
Well,
11.
we will adjourn till 1 o'clock, or 11 o'clock.
Well, I meant 11 minus.
You didn't mean anything.
Don't put words in my mouth.
You didn't mean
You said
anything.
I looked at it earlier.
You know-
We had 11.
It's hard to put words in your mouth because there's 2 feet stuck in it.
That's true there. That's true.
All right, we'll be back here at 11 o'clock to see Kara.
Nothing wrong with little foot soup.
Yeah, I will try
If you have any extras, I'll share with my wellness.
I got 12 copies.
Oh, good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it scared
We've
me.
been busy.
Is this every month?
Yes, because I've had cancellations.
Oh, no, I know.
That's okay.
But
I'll share this with you. Yes, this is it. I have my 3 commissioners, and Karen Kern is with our wellness committee.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Yes,
I'm
right.
like,
Oh, they love it. Well, they ask me questions. Oh, yes, I thought it would be great.
well, I did it before. I did really good board.
Yes, Roger Creed.
He's a real deal. Real deal.
Yeah, well, one of the things on the radio, they said.
She's probably seen it at the conference.
Yeah, I did. On the meeting, and it was like,
Yes.
So that was like fun.
Right.
I was happy for that was the first time I actually had to post this week. I didn't even know I was on the list. I got an email and they're like, oh, you're doing this. Well, it was like 9 to like 11. I'm like, that's the first time, but it was okay. So I think, are we ready?
We're ready.
All right.
So everybody else cancel on me.
Okay.
Seriously?
Thanks for being here, Jay.
Karen.
I can sit behind and put my gun here.
Oh, actually, yeah. Okay.
Did you have something that you gave me?
First of all, I just want to say thank you all so much for being here and taking the time to meet with me. It really means a lot. If you have any questions at all on anything, feel free to interrupt me. So let's dive in. Okay, so you can go over to the next page. So for 2016, our action plan, just in a nutshell, what we were really focusing on doing is basically increasing participation overall. That was our goal.
We're up one.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Karen.
That's funny, yeah. So that is really what we were trying to do. And in hindsight, you'll actually see that we did overall increase participation across the board, which is exactly the direction we want to go. The other thing we really focus on is supporting the wellness coordinators. We gave them monthly email that had promotional materials and kind of give them guidance on what they could do for each month to provide to the employees and spouses. And then we also really encourage to increase HRA participation. And what I mean by that, if they did the HRA on an early completion, then they would get an additional incentive. To really encourage people to do that piece. And the purpose of that is when you do the HRA, if you have 50 or more, then you get an executive report from Staywell that gives really detailed, really high-level information on the county employees. So that's what we're always pushing for, to really help you navigate on what you need to focus on. You guys, since you actually had 140 employees and spouses complete the HRA, you're going to even receive the more executive report when you have 100 or more. So I will be emailing you that executive report with all that detailed information on your population. So that's really great. That's exactly what we want to see. So moving on to the next slide, which is participation review. This just gives you, the first one is just the overall participation and total-wise. Goodness, it's a little warm in here. Okay. So HRA completion, we did increase in the employee side point from 34 to 37, and screening completion also increased from 28 to 35. What we did, what I wanted to point out is the total program completion total-wise went from 16% to 26.9. However, the difficulty of what really drove down the population was the spouses. That is something that we're really seeing across the board, that we're not engaging spouses enough, and we drove down, unfortunately, the total participation to 21.4. Since the spouses is only roughly around 16%, and 9.5% as far as program completion. So that's really something we're going to be really focusing on this year, on getting the right information to spouses, really doing communication materials, all of that program and focus on them. For Preble County, the great thing is implementing that surcharge sure made a difference as far as participation across the board. For HRA completion, 2015 you guys were at 32%, in 2016 you're at 74.1. So it's a huge jump. Screening completion went from 32% to 97.4. That's just phenomenal. I think that's one of the highest numbers I've seen as far as screening completion. And total program completion, you guys went from 13.8 in 2016 to 53.4. So basically almost 40% increase. So again, that surcharge really made a difference. so that's wonderful. So overall, for total program completion, you guys went from 2015 to 13.8, upping on 14% to 40.1. So just phenomenal. I'm very happy with how you guys are performing, so that's great. So the next slide focuses on the health status review. So for SEPCO overall, for the health risk, we're at 3.1. For Preble County, you guys are at 3.2 for health risk. So you can see here, we compared the comparison between SEPCO and Preble. And so the other thing I wanted to kind of point out, waist circumference, that one line that isn't in there is because we didn't have in 2015 100 or more acres, we weren't able to provide that, which payroll wasn't, due to like HIPAA violations, we didn't want to have that issue. So focusing on the next bar there, you'll see in 2015, stress went from 51 to 60% in 2016.
Is that an improvement of 50? I'm sorry, is that an improvement from 51 to 60%?
No, this is not an improvement.
So if it's 60%, that's 60% people that feel stressed?
Yes, so
Okay.
you increase that,
Okay.
more of the population, yes, exactly, so that's how you need to look at it. So we saw actually across the board, that stress, increase for everyone. And one of the things that we were trying to focus on, what could that be, what was the reason, and was we figured the election had a lot to do with it. And, there's a lot of changes within the county as far as we have 2 new commissioners as well, so that could be another, stressor as far as that is concerned. So for weight, you guys went from 70% to 81%. Yeah, I know. This is not the good stuff. So, blood pressure went from 56 to 64. Cholesterol went from 59% to 61% in 2016. And then lastly, the one only decrease you had was 53% for eating to 51%. So, sorry, that actually was bad.
Yeah, that was bad.
No, that was good, sorry.
That was good?
That was good, yeah, so you sorry.
Oh, yeah. They went from 63 to 51.
Yeah, so eating was good.
So we're eating less, but we're getting fatter.
No, you're eating better. You're eating better.
Okay.
Yeah, it is a little weird how
Story
it
of my
is.
life.
Yeah, more people are eating more properly, so that's good.
How do you measure stress?
See what?
What are you using to measure stress?
So for stress, that would be, with the HRAs, people have certain, questionnaire, and then they answer primarily what those questions would be.
They might feel under stress.
I mean,
So the reason these percentages are up could be because a lot more people were part of it than before.
That is too, that could be, and then when you actually get maybe more detailed health report, it might tell you a better story. So when you look into that kind of see it, maybe you can kind of pinpoint maybe what that could be for your county specifically. The other thing I would want to say is maybe focusing on, providing, the EAP, which is a employee assistance program, focusing on offering that, potentially maybe doing a Athens County is going to be doing a meditation room, so for employees to just kind of escape from their desk and just kind of have a decompressed dark room where they
Meditation.
Oh,
I thought
you said medication.
I don't know. I'm sorry. If I did, I apologize.
I'm not for that.
Meditation is very true, but I wouldn't.
Meditation.
Meditation. So, dark room in other words.
I'm
We have the same page now?
all stressed out looking at me.
Okay, so those are some ideas on way to, and maybe doing massages.
Oh, that'd be nice.
That everybody loves that.
No, they do.
They really do. Even our office are always asking, what are we gonna do again? What are we gonna do again? And I'm like, oh, we only have a certain budget, and it's not exactly cheap doing that. But so the next slide is going over the VP demographic, and this focuses primarily on employees only. The two things I kind of want you to take away from this is your average age. You guys are kind of right in line with SEPCO. SEPCO's at 47.4, and you're at 47. And gender, this is what I really want to kind of point out. Is so 35% males in and 65% females. And what I want to stress on this is that it states that we're having the females are the ones who are finishing the HRA, and they're the ones doing it. We're not engaging that male participation to do the HRA. So that's something we really want to focus on overall. Next slide is change in health risk. So SEDCO decreased 3.3%. So from 2015, they were at 3.1 health risk, and in 2016, they went to 3.0. So for Preble County, their health risk remained steady at 3.2. So that's good. We either want you to remain steady or we want you to decrease. So I'll take steady. It's not an issue at all. So the one good thing I also wanted to point out is what we want to see, if you look to the far right in the high risk category, you'll see from Preble County for 2015, you guys were at 10% for 6 or more health high risk. And then you went to 6% in 2016, so you saw that decrease, which means that a couple people moved into that moderate risk category, which is exactly what we want to see, that positive trend, and hopefully over time it will continue to move to that low risk category. Does that make sense? Okay, and that's what we want to continue to look at in program year 3, and we'll likely see improvement within time. The next slide is just giving you a snapshot of where SEDCO fell compared to all of Staywell's clients. So as you can see, the norm is at 1.9, and SEDCO fell at 3.3%, and then the most improved is at 4.2. So we're doing significantly better than a lot of other clients, so you just kind of see where you guys fall as far as change. The next slide is focusing on the change in health risk. So 5 of 13 health risk improved or maintained from 2015 to 2016. Weight risk stayed steady. Per person for weight and eating improved. However, stress increased in repeat participants from 2015 to 2016. So you guys can see kind of where you fell. Again, one of the biggest, your top for weight, you guys went from 70 to 72%, stress from 52 to 62%, and blood pressure from 57 to 69%.
That's for the rock you can't weight. That's chubby.
The exam stands for preventative exam, just to let you know what that is. Another thing you might want to really focusing on, the other thing that was good is you guys did have, went from eating from 54% to 54%. So that's good. But across the board, you can see that you did increase in weight, stress, and blood pressure. So that's something you really want to focus on with education, fitness classes, and there's wide variety of things that you can do to improve that. So we saw across the board, this is the major sources of stress, which was finances, job responsibilities, and with coding too much. And you'll see you fell at 27% for finances, 36% with job responsibilities, and 32% felt they were coding too much. And this is based on the HRA, and this is how your population fell. We saw across the board, these are the top 3 things for SEDCO population. So you guys fit right in with everybody else. The other thing I wanted to go over was the SEDCO health coaching. The good news is we're having people engage in the health coaching program. So normally they only have to do 3 coaching calls. However, we're having, in the SEDCO population, we're having them engage to 4 calls or more, which means, they're engaged in the program, it works. The unfortunate news is there's not enough employees taking the advantage of the program, and they're not utilizing the program. So when they do it, participants in health coaching lower their health risk by 4%. For stress, average stress level decreased from 28.7 from pre to post assessment. And for weight, 73% of respondents lost weight and averaged to 5.35 points. So you can see that the program works, but we're not getting enough of the population engaged in the program. One of the things that we're going to be doing to reach out to those participants who are eligible is going to do an extra, we'll be doing an extra call to those who are eligible. We're going to really focus on, as well as doing different print communication, letting them know about this program as well. So that's what we'll be really focusing on as well. So the next slide is just giving you an idea of where SEBCO overall fell for health risk migration. So 83% of the population improved or maintained their health risk. So this is exactly what we want to see in a positive trend. Of those who maintained, 42% were at low risk, 52% were moderate, and 6% were high. So let's just kind of see where SEBCO falls. The next slide is more in detail of where they fell. Of the 40% who were at low risk baseline, 68% stayed at low risk, which is exactly what we want to see. Of the 60% who were at risk baseline, 30% improved their risk status. So as you can see, where they fell is in the high risk, more detailed in what bucket they fell and how they moved and navigated. Again, this is exactly what we want to see, but it's not going to happen overnight to trend into that low risk category. The next slide is focusing on program year 2, and this is the total population for including So to give you the HRA participants, the demographics for that, SEBCO overall had 30% of their population including HRA. You guys had 51%. So you're much higher than SEBCO, which is excellent. Your largest age group for SEBCO was 50 to 59, and you guys were a little bit younger at 40 to 49. So you had 29% of your population within that age. You had 29% also actually, I'm sorry, I don't know why they fell through 50, 59. So you have actually, those are your two that fell through your ages. Just kind of gives you where your population falls. Again, the other thing I want to mention is you can see the males are at 36%, including the HRA, and females are at 64%. So, again, females are most likely to complete the HRA, and that's what the number is probably of. The next slide is going over risk prevalence. SEBCO averages health risk is 3.1, and for Preble, you guys are at 3.2. So again, this is one thing that you want to point out. So as you can see in the far right, for health risk, for 6 or more, you guys were the highest. You were at 9% for high risk. So what we want to then see is move that high risk over to moderate. It's 53% compared to SEBCO at 51, and then 38% for low risk and 40% for SEBCO. So what we want to see is we want to see the low risk increasing. The next slide just gives you exactly an idea of where you fell among the other counties within SEBCO. So the lowest health risk was 2.6, and the highest was at 3.9. And Preble fell at 3.2. So you guys are right in about the middle. The next slide is going over risk prevalence, and this is all lifestyle habits that the wellness program can positively impact. So these are things that you kind of also want to focus on, which is nutrition. You had 9% of your population, which is exactly where SEBCO fell, were high risk categories. The other thing that I really want to point out is for exercise, you guys fell at 19%, close to SEBCO at 16%, so you were the highest for the category. And then also, the other thing would be, for back care, you guys would also be higher at 21% were at high risk. SEBCO was right behind you, 20%. For stay-well book of business, they were only at 14%. So that's something you might want to focus on as far as education, offering more standing desks, maybe doing some educational classes with resistance bands and how to stretch your desk. For that back care and really making sure that they take care of their back. And that also has to do with weight as well, so we need to focus on that. Does anybody have any questions on any of that? You giving me a hard time back there?
What's up? I'm giving you a hard time.
Okay, as long as it's not.
All right. I'll wait till the end of that for you.
All right. The next slide is focusing on risk prevalence for psychosocial, and these are all risk factors that we cannot control, so work or environmental. Start at the top. stress at the top health risk was 60% of the participants at risk. You can see for Preble County, there's the highest, at 19% of your population is at that high risk. Sedco fell at 17%, and Table's book of business for high risk at 12%. So that's something you really, really want to focus on, as well as depression. You guys, second highest at 11% of your population is at high risk. Sedco is at 12%, and book of business at 9%. So that's where that EAP really makes a difference, and probably focusing on education on that program. It's a great program, but unfortunately it is very underutilized. The next slide is focusing on the major sources of stress. We kind of already touched base on this. Again, finances, relationships at work, coping with too much, and job responsibilities. So again, you guys saw 27% for the finances, 36% for job responsibilities, and coping too much was at 32%. The next slide is going over the biometrics. So again, for weight, you guys saw that 60% of your population is in that high-risk category. That goes at 54, and they look with the business at 35. Cholesterol was also, you guys were the highest, almost the highest at the time. For Sedco, they were at 20%, and you guys were at 19% for that high risk. And blood pressure, you guys were the highest at 17% of that population at high risk, and 12% for Sedco for blood pressure.
And these are based on the health screening?
Yes, exactly. The finger pricks,
Right.
Exactly. This is where that information is coming from. So, not good, but we want to focus on getting those numbers better over time. So, for 2016, this is self-reported chronic conditions, and these are things that can be improved. So, 67% of Preble County participants reported having one or more chronic condition, which is higher than Table's book of business at 55. Preble County's average number of health risks by chronic condition status. So no chronic conditions were 2.8%. I'm sorry, 2.8, and then one or more chronic conditions at 3.4. So what we want to see is that none, where you guys fell at 33%. We want to see that increase where stable book of business are at 45%. So that's what we want to see. None of the population having chronic conditions. So you guys actually had 3 or more of your population had 26%. Where you fell for 3 or more chronic conditions. 2, you were at 20%, and 1 was at 21%. So that's where you kind of fell. And then the last, we'll just go over actual specific chronic conditions that you guys have at Preble County. So you can see here, your highest one is arthritis at 23%. You had high blood pressure was at 20%, and unhealthy cholesterol was at 20%. So those are your highest things you really want to focus on. Education with that, and what you can do to get those numbers lower. And then also, again, below that, pain, you guys were at 15%. So you were definitely almost higher than Sedco in most of those categories, especially for cholesterol. You guys were at 20, and then cholesterol for Sedco, they were at 14%. So hopefully, do some offering education as far as fitness classes, maybe that helps drive those numbers lower. The next slide is just
I have a question on that. Am I seeing under the diabetes category, then we have 0?
For you guys, let me check. So
that's amazing because, in a couple of years ago, that was like our biggest concern.
Yeah, I know, that is, I'm going to double check on that because I think it has to do, you guys had more than 100 HRAs. I'm thinking what is the reason, I don't think it's 0, I think it's because if they put like maybe 1%, then it would show that you guys probably might know who that person is. I'll have to double check with stable with that. I actually didn't, because I don't think there's, to be honest, I don't think there's no way that you don't have a single person with diabetes.
Yeah, well, the lowest I'm seeing is 5%. So even if it's less than 5%, that's worth celebrating right there.
Right, right, yeah.
That's.
Yeah, I'm going to double check on that. I apologize. I don't have an answer on that right this second, but I'll follow up with Connie and she'll let you guys know. I'm I'm not sure, to be honest with you, so I'll look into it. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah, I know in the past that's been one of the big ones, especially with the pharmaceuticals.
Yes, it absolutely has. I mean, yes, in the United States, there's so many population that has that diabetic conditions.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So the next slide is focusing on tier completion rate. So you'll see those who are in tier 3 are going to have more of that participation for the programs. So they had 30% of spouses complete the program and 41% employees complete program completion. And they also do the HRA, there's most definitely more participation. And basically, you guys are right within the top county. Seneca's at 42%, you guys had 40.1 participation for program completion. So you guys are right in with them. The two things I kind of wanted to show is that when you do premium reduction, you're going to get that more program completion. Union and Seneca, the other thing that they offer, which we really appreciate and really like, is they make sure that spouses also have to complete the program in order to earn the premium reduction. So that's good that they make them accountable to, and that gets more program completion. So that's something that they do a little bit different as well. And then overall, this shows you exactly when you do the premium reduction, you're going to have more of that program completion. And this shows you 28% of the county completed the program for premium reduction, opposed to cash or gift card at 14% for program completion. So that's just showing where that falls when we do that program. Premium reduction is really what we like to see, and what you guys are doing is obviously working as well. So over time, I'm sure you're going to have those numbers go up as far as program completion. So just want to give you ideas of what we're doing, what we learned, and what we're doing. So we're going to be offering additional customizable print communication, focusing on weight and stress, since we realize those are the top 2 health risks across the board. We're going to also offer the counties different communications to promote their own resources, EAP, Health Advocate. Anthem has a lot of programs that we want to make sure that employees are engaging in and taking advantage of. The low-risk population improved 1%, and the moderate-risk population remained steady, and high-risk population decreased 1% from year 1 to year 2. So, things are going in a positive direction. However, we realize that we still need to better engage the high-risk population as well, and we really want to focus on doing that, engaging them to do that health coaching as well. The other thing we can take away is male participation did increase in 2016, but we still need to better engage them in the program. So we're going to really continue to focus on pinpointing print communication and targeted key messages specifically for males, and we're going to do the same thing for spouses as well. So for spouses, participation was still low in 2016, which was around 14% for HRA completion. Typically, it's 16 to 22% where we see the spouses fall, so we're definitely behind. Again, we're going to focus on getting that targeted messages and emails to them. The other feature that we're going to be offering is basically a forward to spouse feature, so it's going to be a little link where they can click and just put in the spouse's email and it will forward right to them. So let's be honest, we know males honestly are not telling their wives about the program, even though they just don't tell them, hey, do this. They just don't, unfortunately. I don't understand why, because it's free money, but that is an issue. For county support for the wellness coordinators, we're actually going to be adding a different resource. We're going to be doing a monthly service spotlight, which focuses on different services each month. For example, health coaching, digital workshop, and self-directed coaching. Again, like I mentioned, we're also going to be offering customizable print communication pieces for all counties to highlight their own resources based on their risk factors. We're also going to be offering success stories, especially that really makes a difference if you can, at a county level, if you see somebody who lost weight and you know them, you're going to kind of, it makes a difference for that person to want to do it. This person did it, and they know them. They're like, well, if they did it, I think I can do it as well. So that does go a long way. Again, the other thing we want to focus on is having county leaders encourage program participation, which means you, and sharing successes monthly at internal meetings. So that is everything in a nutshell with the report. Does anybody have any other questions besides that one? Okay. The other thing I just kind of wanted to show you guys, it's still a little early on, but we, I should say Tori, actually, which is the other wellness coordinator, she did claims analysis of where we fell as far as those who are in the non-wellness group, the wellness group, and repeat wellness group. It is still a little early to see a trend, but we do see a trend. So the good thing is we're showing that when people do the wellness and their repeat wellness participants, they save monthly, and the TM stands for per month per, shoot, I just forgot.
Per month per member?
Yes, thank you. That's exactly what it stands for. So you'll see that 142.36 is what you save for each member, and then overall roughly around $10 million you exceed for claim saving costs compared to the non-wellness group to the wellness. So we're seeing what we want to see. It is still early on. Usually you can do this around 3 to 5 years down the line, but we want to make sure that it's going in the right direction and it's making a difference. So this is proof that it is. So that's everything I have. I really appreciate you guys' time. If any other questions come up, let Connie know and she'll reach out to me and we'll find answers, and I'll definitely follow up with you regarding the report and getting your diabetes question answered as well.
Thanks.
Thank you guys.
Do you see
Appreciate it.
do you see the county sizes making a difference on how well the counties are doing, or have you seen a correlation there?
Can you say that one time?
County size, so bigger county, do they appear to be doing better? Do smaller counties appear to be doing better?
It ranges. I really couldn't give an answer on that. It ranges from, that's really the question, but I think it ranges. There's not like smaller counties are doing better than larger counties as far as, are you talking about like as far as being healthy or saving money?
Being healthy.
Oh yeah, no, I couldn't even say it doesn't make any difference.
I guess
It's like all across the board.
the reason I ask that is higher participation, is that skewing the number by some means?
Mm-hmm. That's true. I'll look into that and see if there's anything that we could pull or look into that. It definitely would be worth to look into. But if I had to guess, I think it's all across the board. As far as it really doesn't make a difference, but I would most definitely look into it and see if there is anything. If we can measure that in any way, it's definitely worth to look into. So.
The reason I ask that is, are we comparing apples and apples?
Yeah, I definitely think that's great. I'll ask.
That's why I asked that. I mean, it's
Yeah, no, I definitely see where it came from. That's great.
I like to get everybody.
I'm proud.
I'm just glad he's so good at it and accomplished the goal. Support.
That's right. Thank you, Gary.
I'm sorry, what?
Thank you.
Oh, yes, thank you.
Anybody else have any questions?
I have none. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. It's so nice to see you again.
Yeah, you too.
You came to visit me in the hospitality suite.
Yeah, good to see you.
You have a good one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's the first time we met. Good to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Okay.
Thanks, Karen.
Thank you. Thank you for coming.
That's why I don't wear coats ever. I forget them.
Did you say something else to me?
No, I did not.
Okay, I'm just making sure you have.
I did not. See, we can go back now?
Yes, we have, Ann, who does all our analysis and all of that. We're using a new system. for their claims and all of that. So we're being trained on that today, which I am hopefully understand that. I'm not employed for that.
Try slow.
Well, that's Corey's thing, but we good. Alrighty.
Thank you.
Safe travels.
Thank you.
So much.
See ya.
See you.
Alright, bye.
Bye-bye.
Well, we're kicking butt in participation. That's good.
Connie, do you have any additional items?
No.
We will recess until 1 o'clock. Wrong. All right. It's 1 o'clock. Welcome, everyone. We appreciate everyone showing up and appreciate you participating. I know it takes a lot of work to do these, and we appreciate it. It's time for the bid opening for the landfill Phase 2A and 2C. First bid is from Peter Augustin, American Environmental Group, out of Richfield, Ohio. Okay. Is this just a total bid on this? Will this be just a total? Okay. This bid is $3,204,730.77.
Where'd you find that? Oh, found it. So is it the same?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's just 3 copies?
3 copies.
Okay.
Next bidder is R.D. Jurgensen, out of Vandalia, Ohio.
Jerkins.
Their bid is $2,765,432.10. Next bidder is Catskill Remedial Contracting Services Incorporated, out of Otsego, Michigan. That bid is $2,842,867. Next bid is King Environmental Group,
out of Findlay, Ohio. Their bid is $2,671,547. That's all the bids we have. Entertain a motion.
I will move to note receipt of these bids and then forward them on to the landfill sanitary engineer for his recommendation.
Second that.
Any discussion? Sarah, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Robertson?
Yes.
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Commissioner Day?
Yes. Once again, we thank everyone for their efforts on this. I know it's a lot of work, folks, and we greatly appreciate it.
Yes, we do.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Good seeing you guys.
See you in a little bit.
See you in a minute. You try that hat on again?
Yes.
Oh. Thank you, Sam. No problem. That was quick.
Wish we'd had 2 more people put in.
Mhm.
Oh.
All right. See you in a little bit.
See you later. We'll see you in a little bit.
Hey, Bob. See you soon.
Okay. You give Sarah the bids?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, she took the folder.
All right. Connie, do you have any additional items?
We just had a letter from Marty Hotel to look receipt up regarding wage adjustments.
To the members of the board, effective February 27, 2017, Gracia Manning's salary shall be decreased by $5,000. Therefore, her new yearly salary will go from $64,788.32 excuse me, to $59,788.32. Her DRETAC amount stays the same. With that being said, Eric Merritt and Valerie Sargent Eckert will be taking on additional duties. Therefore, Eric Merritt's salary shall increase by $5,000. His new salary will increase from $42,492 to $36,000 to $44,992.36. His DRETAC amount stays the same. Valerie Sargent Eckert's salary shall increase by $2,500 as well. Her new salary will increase from $45,251.77 to $47,751.70. Her DRETAC amount stays the same as well. Sincerely, Martin P. Votel.
Move to note receipt of a letter from the prosecutor.
Second that.
Discussion? Connie, would you call the roll?
Commissioner Robertson?
Yes?
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Commissioner Day?
Yes. What else you got, Connie?
I have nothing.
Nothing?
Nothing.
Okay. Rod?
I'm good.
Okay. I have nothing. Entertain a motion.
Second.
Connie, would you please call the roll?
Sorry, I just like doing stuff like that.
Would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Creech?
Yes.
Commissioner Robertson?
Yes.